Hello and howdy, welcome to my video. And today we're talking about not my favorite artist, nobody could replace you as a musician unless she, but one of my favorite artists, Francisco Goya. Francisco Goya was a painter during the Romantic period of art history. And the Romantic period, a lot of people are like, ah yes, romance, kissy kissy. Romantic back then, so the Romantic period, if you would refer to my beautiful art wall, Romantic period is right here, 1780 through 1850. So during the 17 and 1800s, when Romanticism was at its peak, its most popular, Romantic didn't mean the same thing it means now. It didn't mean like falling in love. It didn't have associations with romance, whatever. It had associations with like dark parts of the human mind. So think less like falling in love and more if humans get rid of their, I don't know, inhibitions essentially, then what will they do? What are humans capable of when nobody's watching, when they're unable to control themselves, essentially? Like, what are the darkest parts the human mind will go to? Now that I'm thinking about that, the setup is like feels a little wrong. BRB, guys, BRB. Okay, awesome. Okay, maybe not that dark. Maybe just like a little dark. Anyways, Romanticism, dark parts of the human mind. So, the painting I'd like to show you guys.
Wow!
Saturn devouring his sun. This painting is one of Francisco Goya's from his black painting series, which is the paintings he made from 1820 to 1823 before he died. Now, to start off the bat, I want to start with some fun facts.
Saturn devouring his sun actually is not Saturn devouring his sun. Shocker, I know, crazy. His black paintings were a series of paintings they found in his house after he passed away. They were painted directly onto his dining room walls. Cool. Because they were painted directly onto his walls, most of them, slash all of them, weren't actually titled. So this beautiful thing right here is actually not necessarily Saturn devouring his sun. It's just a guy eating another guy. But because previous paintings that have been done of Saturn devouring his sun, because it's a pretty popular story, people are like, yeah, probably that. Because, you know, the alternative is like a little silly.
Alright, so let us talk about his painting here. Saturn devouring his sun is a Romantic era painting, which means it was painted in this time here on our little timeline, 1780 through 1850. What this means is it was more modern on the general timeline, and also it's coming in this new era of art eras or art periods where they stop being so heavily defined. Back here, you have 1400 Renaissance starts, then you have 1600 Baroque starts. Like, there's these very hard cutoffs. You have like these pop-ups of kind of like special different things the artists are doing, like mannerism during the Renaissance era, Rococo during Baroque, but for the most part you have like these very cut and hard lines. It's not on here, but you also have medieval, Renaissance, Baroque, and then neoclassicism. You have these very like this thing, cut and hard lines. However, after the end, or I should say after the start of neoclassicism and the end of Baroque here in 1750, you see the art periods start to overlap more. You have neoclassicism, but before it can end in 1850, in 1780, Romanticism begins. And before Romanticism can fully end in 1850, Realism starts in 1848, and then so on and so on. The more modern you get, the more you have like all these different movements all at the same time, which is a lot different than you would saw before. Which is why, when unpacking this, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. It's not just, oh, this is a Romantic painting. It has these influences of all these other art periods that were going on concurrently with it. Like I said, 1820, so like really solidly in the Romantic period, so definitely Romantic painting, but it also is during the time still of neoclassicism, and it's also during the time of realism. So it kind of has all these three things kind of like playing into what it is. So we have all that background. Let's actually describe the painting. So Saturn devouring his sun, we have this completely like black wash background of influences from other styles. This painting is kind of on the edge of Impressionism. Impressionism wouldn't start until 40 years after this was made, but you do kind of see like how the artists at this time in the mid 1800s were kind of slowly more and more moving towards Impressionism, moving less towards like these perfect human forms we saw in Baroque, Neoclassicism, Renaissance, to these more, I'm painting what needs to be painted so that you understand the feeling, not necessarily the perfect form. So we see this black wash. There's no like linear perspective, there's no foreshortening, there's none of this like super cool techniques to make the background like look very 3D. It's a, I wouldn't say flat painting because the use of the black does give it like this kind of depth, but it's not a very detailed painting. So you have this black wash, and then you have obviously this guy with these insane crazy eyes, and he's pretty massive. Like, he doesn't even fit on the canvas. You can see his body's like kind of sticking off of it. Like, this is a printed paper, so like the cropping is weird, but even on like the actual painting, like he does not fit in here. The feet are kind of falling off, half of his body is kind of like disappearing into the blackness and then off the canvas. Big dude. And then you have this kind of just mannequin like body. It doesn't have arms, his head is gone. Ow. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but you kind of knew that. So when I first saw this painting, I was watching like YouTube. There was this random recommendation and I was like, oh yes, it was like something really clickbaity. It was like top 10 most screwed up, disturbing paintings ever known to man. Saturn Devouring Sun was one of them, and I remember that one just standing out to me so much because a lot of them were like, there was another Goya in it. It was the 3rd of May 1808 was also in it, which is, you know, very disturbing painting in its own right, you know, firing squad, not very comforting. But a lot of them were like these just scenes that the subject matter was disturbing. With this painting, the thing that really stood out to it among like all these other paintings that this presenter was talking about in this YouTube video was that yes, the subject of the painting is disturbing, obviously. Again, we've talked about it, a dude eating another dude, but the way it's painted is like very ominous. Like there's really only 2 colors used in it. You got the skin color and you got black. The entire background is black. Both of them are just the skin color. And then you have like this random use of red, so it stands out that much more. If one of them had been wearing red, or there was just more colors and it was like more of this variation, it wouldn't pop so much. But the fact that there's these 3 colors, only one used on these people, and then this like drop of red for like his missing arms and hands and head, like just makes it a lot darker. And also there's no scenery at all. There's like nothing that can distract you from the subject. By making the entire background black, I feel like it very much does like push it more in your face. It's more like, look at this, like look. I thought that was really interesting. When comparing it to Peter Paul Rubens' work, Rubens, it's very much, it's not very extreme. I mean, the look on the child's face that's being devoured, it's pretty like, oh my god, I'm being eaten. But besides that, it's like a very tame painting. Like they seem to be like in this cloudy backdrop. They have like these soft Rubenesque figures, like they're very fleshy. It's not very harsh. And then you like juxtapose that immediately with Goya, and it's like, there's nothing friendly or inviting about this. There's nothing round. It's like this very limited like painting of just what is happening. There's no extra going on. There's like nothing to look away at to. There's nothing to like hide behind that painting. Like it is very much just like look, which I think again speaks to the romanticism genre it was painted to be a part of. It's very much like, look at what humans can do. Like, no, don't look away. Like this is what people are capable of when this isn't applied or is applied. I think a lot of the reason his black paintings are called that is because, you know, the black background, and also it's stripped down. Like a romanticism, really, its heart is like stripping away all of these things of the human mind to like get down to like the evil that humans can do. And this Saturn Devouring His Son is a very physical representation of that. It's very much like, I'm stripping away all these extra things. I'm stripping away the perspective. I'm stripping away these like fancy, elegant, blended brushstrokes. I'm stripping away the background. Like all of these different things, I'm taking it away. I'm leaving you with just like these 2 figures and what they're doing. And not even that, like Saturn, his torso, his like parts of his legs, his feet, his like pelvis area, like it's not there. Like you really only see like his hands, his face, and like part of his legs, just so you know he's like a figure that exists. But the rest of the detail is not there, not at all. Especially again when you juxtapose that with Rubens' rendition of it, like everything is there. Like it is very extremely detailed. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. This has been Saturn Devouring His Son by Francisco Goya.